Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session inside Double My E-commerce Sales Facebook group. For those who are joining from the recorded session, whether it's on YouTube channel or on eCommerce Training Academy, welcome once again. And for those who are going to be joining me live, it's a great opportunity for you guys to take advantage of the fact that you can ask me questions during the session, as well as me being able to answer them towards the end. My name is Ala Hassan, the founder of eCommerce Training Academy, and also the host inside Double My E-commerce Sales in 12 Months Facebook group. It's been a while. It's been a couple of days. I haven't done any Facebook Lives. People have been enjoying the weekend, and I figured, you know what? Let me just hop on this Wednesday evening, 9 o'clock. So again, I'm testing this time. I figured people were telling me, why not do some of the Facebook Lives towards later in the evening, since some of you guys work during the day, you're kind of busy with the day-to-day stuff. You feel that it's a lot more convenient if it's in the evening. So that's exactly what we will be doing today. For those who are joining me live, let me know in the comments. Do you hear me well? Do you see my screen? If everything is all really good on your side, let me know in the comments. That's always helpful, because the last thing I want is, again, start talking and eventually realize, and it did happen once already. So just let me know in the comments if you guys have any concerns on your side. Let me just make sure everything else on my side is good as well. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Pascal. Appreciate it. So that's more than enough. One person saying that everything is good. Let's get started. So today's topic is somewhat of a question that I always been asked, either inside this group or recently, because I've held so many Facebook Lives inside this group that with time I started getting more and more of the same questions. First thing, let's talk about what are two of the things that e-commerce businesses want. And there are two things, and this, in my opinion, applies to any type of e-commerce business. First, they want more revenue. Sales, in other words. And the second thing is they want more profits. Some people might say, well, I want more traffic. Yeah, but you want more traffic or you want more customers because you want more revenue. At a certain point in your journey, revenue is not enough. You really want to focus more on being more efficient and making the most out of every transaction that comes through your website. Hence, you focus on wanting more profits. That's the whole point why you're in business in the first place. You're trying to generate money, profits, so that you can pay your employees, make a decent amount of money so that you can pay yourself eventually, and then also make additional profits so that you can reinvest it back into the business. You're not there to simply sell products at a break-even point. You may have that strategy in the beginning because you're starting to launch the business. You really want to raise awareness. So your goal is to, at this point, you know that it's going to take money to make money, obviously in the beginning, and you don't mind maybe breaking even for a short period of time. But in the long term, you're looking at growth that is going to help you become more profitable. So these are the two things that you really need to focus on. You want more revenue and you want more profits. They work hand in hand. So I wanted to start this session mainly because I wanted to share an experience of mine when I was leading the digital marketing for e-commerce at linandchess.com. It's one of Canada's top home retailers. They've been in the business for more than 50 years, over 30 stores now, over 700 employees, very healthy company. And you know what? Obviously, with everything going on in the world right now, all retailers have been impacted. Nonetheless, I can truly feel proud of everything that Linen Chess has accomplished in the last couple of months during this pandemic. In 2016, 2016 approximately, that's when I joined Linen Chess as director of digital marketing. And upon my arrival, my mandate was to grow the company. They were running in between the 6-7 figure levels, mainly more towards the 7-figure, meaning just about under 10 million, and you know, usually 6-figure, 7-figure. We're talking about. Sometimes people refer to it, is it 7 figures a year? Is it 7 figures a month? Depending on who you speak to. At this point right now, Linen Chess was running about 7 figures a year. And when I came on board, there was a lot of things that had to be improved in order for them to reach the 8-figure level and beyond that. When people ask me what happened, how were you able to not only revamp the whole e-commerce division, but also achieve the growth? I always tell people it's not a secret. There are proven things that need to be done or need to be invested in order for you to accomplish growth. It's not about luck. It's about more than, it's not luck really. It's really about timing at this point. So when I look at my experience with Linen Chest for a period of 3 years, we've been through a lot of initiatives, a lot of strategies in order for us to really help us achieve the 8-figure level. And today I figured, you know what, why not share 6 things that you need to successfully grow an e-commerce business. And these are the 6 exact same things I needed in order for me to grow the company. So let me just increase the size of the screen. You got enough of my face. So let me, at least this way, you're focused more on the content of the presentation. So these are, again, the 6 things that I personally had to have in order for me to take the company to an 8-figure level. And whether you're starting out, you're an established brand like Linen Chest, you're retail with a brick and mortar with physical stores, or you're simply online selling products, or even if you're selling, let's say, just on Amazon, it doesn't matter. These are 6 things that every e-commerce business needs. And this is exactly what we're going to cover. And I'm going to give you some examples. There's not a lot of the how to do things, and I'm going to show you my screen. And we're not talking about, let's talk about Facebook ads and all that stuff. No, this is really high level knowledge that I feel that you need to know about in order for you to achieve growth. So number 1, for those, again, who are joining, you'll get the slides at the end of the session. I'm going to put them in the comments inside the Facebook group only. So the first thing you need are strategies. If you speak to any director, a VP or a CMO or C-suite executive within any e-commerce division, or you ask someone who's the founder who built a successful business, if you ask them one thing, what is it that made it possible for you to achieve this growth? They might tell you in the beginning, we didn't know what we were doing. Maybe we just we're trying things. But eventually, at the end of the day, if they wanted to achieve systematic growth, they needed strategies. You're not there to always reinvent the wheel. E-commerce did not start only last year. It has been just over now 2 decades. So 20 years of a lot of things that during those 20 years, a lot of things have been already tested and proven by other retailers, by other brands, whether or not they work. So one thing that if you're thinking about launching or growing your business, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? You can be innovative, creative, but at this point, there's so much out there in terms of proven strategies that you shouldn't worry about thinking about what's the next big thing. It could be part of your strategy to look at, let's say, the new thing that Facebook did in their ads and you want to test it out. But at the end of the day, if you look at all of these companies that have achieved growth, all of them employ the same type of strategies. So what kind of strategies am I talking about? Branding strategies. Again, we're not talking just about the colors. We're not talking about the fonts of your logo. We're not talking about the website design. We're talking about really branding strategies. How do you position the brand in a crowded market? There's a lot of research that needs to be done. You need to evaluate your competitors. You need to look at the available brands that are out there currently successfully selling your products. But these branding strategies have been there for a very long time. Yet many businesses do not put an effort into investing in these strategies specifically for their brand. So again, consider that. Digital marketing strategies. It's great to have a website. It's great to have a nice shopping cart. But at the end of the day, you need to raise awareness. You need to drive traffic. You need to promote yourself across all of these social networks. These require strategies. We're not talking about tactics. Okay, you may think of it this way. Our strategy to generate more traffic is to create content. All right, so that's one of the stuff. So what are you going to do? How are you going to go about creating this content? Well, we're going to do this, that. These are specific tactics. Well, I'm talking at the high level. What are the strategies that you're implementing in? Tactics come and go. They change. There's always something happening with that. People are testing tactics, but strategies remain for a very long time. That's what I'm talking about. Customer service strategies. It's great that you have an amazing website, you have a lot of traffic, but if you don't have a customer service strategy, you will suffer. How are you going to be able to respond to your customers within 24 hours? Our strategy to deliver amazing service is to ensure that the customers are responded within 24 hours. Great. That's a great strategy. How are you going to do this? Again, that requires a thought process. That requires you to plan things ahead of time. Strategies to build loyalty. Again, I always remind people, the first time a customer makes an order on your website, most of the time, you're not making money on that first order. You're going to make money on the additional orders this customer will make over a period of time. It costs you money to acquire this customer on that first purchase. You spent money on Facebook, you spent money on Google, they made that order. Next time they come to your website, chances are they may come directly by typing in www.yourwebsite.com, or they may click on an email that you sent out to them, or they may follow you on social media and you posted about some new product that just came in. All of these organic tactics will bring them back to the website. Again, what are your strategies when it comes to building loyalty, building referrals? All these things matter. Overall, your strategies are going to be about awareness. People need to know that you exist, that your product is the right product for them to solve a problem they may have in their day-to-day lives. They need to engage with your brand, whether it's on social media, whether it's to sign up to your newsletter, whether it's to browse the website, look for products, search for items, visit your store, physical store, in addition to your website. And the last thing is really strategies when it comes to conversion. Now that you've developed this relationship with this prospect, this audience, how do you convert them into a sale and then make them repurchase again and again? So I've spoken about these three marketing, these three stages inside a video in the group, which is called, I believe, the marketing funnel. Video that I made inside the group will go into details with regards to this. So there's a lot more strategies. I wanted to give you some ideas upon what type of strategies should you prioritize, but there are so many out there. The idea here is for you to understand that you need strategies before anything else. Before you even start your journey into e-commerce, even if you don't even have a website, you need strategies to be put into place in order for you to succeed, especially when it comes to growing an established business. Thing number 2, what is it that you need? You need money. So yes, I've created a challenge where I show people how to build a store for free. We're not talking about getting started in e-commerce. You may start in e-commerce with limited funds or barely any funds. You can probably start an e-commerce business for under $100. Can you grow it for less than $100? I doubt it. It requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of time, and you need some money. So what I'm talking about here, if at Linen Chest, when I came in, I couldn't solve all their growth problems without injecting some money into the operation. We had to spend money on upgrading certain things. We had to spend money on certain, even coming up with strategies. We had to spend some money on technology. These are things that had to be spent in addition to our strategies of growing the business. We had to spend money on our infrastructure in order for us to be able to grow. So what do you need money for? Planning. That's the first thing. Whether in this case, they hired someone like me to come in to plan this growth for them. It required them spending money on that part. It required maybe you might have to do some, you might have to do some research ahead of time. You may have to pay for some research or studies that have been done in the industry for you to take that into consideration during the planning phase. It requires money. Again, we're talking about real growth here. We're not talking about increasing sales by just $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000, or we're talking about real growth of an e-commerce business. You need money to invest in your product. So sometimes I see people talking about, we're going to just do drop shipping. It's one strategy. But again, at the end of the day, if you think that it's going to be enough for you to list the product on your website and just drive traffic to it, you may succeed, but a big percentage of you may not. And the reason why is not enough people are spending money on the product itself, trying to differentiate that. And I have one of the, I'll go in more details later on with regards to that. But just think about it. In order for you to succeed and grow the business, you'll need money to invest in your products that you offer for sale in your website. You need money for promotions. Again, if you really think that you're going to launch an online store and expect people to come in just like that, well, guess again, it will require you to promote things. Now, you can promote things for free. It will still require you to create content. You may have to pay people to do it for you, or even you have to put in the time, which is also money. So whether you're thinking about doing organic tactics, you creating content to drive traffic and awareness for your product, or going the other route of paying for advertising, you will need money in order for this to grow. You need money for your website. So whether you're hosting it with Shopify or on Magento, whatever tools they're using for on your website, they will require some investment from your part so you can actually deliver a shopping experience to your customers. You need to also deliver an experience. It requires money. For example, what do I mean by this? The packaging that you put your products in. This type of packaging requires money. You need to buy these supplies ahead of time. If you really want to wow customers initially when they open the product, that requires additional money. So again, money could be used throughout the whole shopping experience, including the shipping part. And the last thing you need money for is growth. So let's say, for example, you're launching a business. You're trying to survive this whole journey. Eventually, you'll come at a point where you want to boost it a little bit faster, boost this growth. So you'll need to inject money for specifically Facebook ads, Google ads. You might acquire some new products. The growth phase requires additional budget because you're like shifting it to second gear, third gear, so that you drive even more traffic. Some companies might go through multiple growth stages through a period of, let's say, 2-3 years. You have to anticipate for this, and you need to have money in place for that. So that's thing number 2, money. Thing number 3, you need product. So when you feel that you're launching a business and after a year your sales are slowly going down, at a certain point, you have to understand things are changing in the marketplace. There are more competitors coming in. Additional products are being sold in the marketplace by other people. Prices may drop because there's a lot more competition. Demand may rise, but at the same time, supply may rise. So there's a lot of fluctuations in the market that you have no control over. At the same time, if a customer buys a product from you the first time, if this product is not something they plan on ordering multiple times from you, because let's say you sell mattresses, I'm just coming up with, you're talking about another 6 to 7 years until they buy the second mattress. So what are you doing with regards to, what are you going to do about product selection? There are things that you have to do to help people attract them back to your website the first time and attract them back to your website the second, third, fourth time over a period of time. So what are some of the things? What do I mean by product? Well, first of all, you got to spend some time into product research. It's not just enough to go, let's say, on Oberlo or find a drop shipper, find a product there and just bring it on the website. That's it. That's all. That's not research. We're really, and a lot of my friends that I know in this space, when I speak to them about the product part of the business, they spend months, if not years, trying to figure out what's the next product they need to offer on the website. They don't just buy it. They do a lot of research. They order samples. They're constantly looking for ways of bringing people back to the website or even attracting a new breed of customers to the website that they've never attracted before. Product testing. It's not enough just to put something on the website for sale and let your customers test it. You may want to order some samples. You may want to bring them to your facility. You may want to try it. You may want to order a bunch of them and give them away for free to see if actually these products are of great quality. And you may want to test them yourself. So spend some time on this, especially when you try to grow the business. It will be required of your part. Product innovation. Sometimes we may have a product that's selling very well. And we're so comfortable, it's doing really well, things are moving along, but eventually at a certain point, there may be some new products out there that are better than yours. What are you gonna do about that? Are you gonna try to improve the current features that are on this product? Are you actually gonna provide different features that people have been asking for a very long time? Is there a strategy behind that? Product differentiation. Some products may come on, guess what? Even now, it's a lot harder than ever before because access to product is no longer a barrier of entry. Anyone can see what's selling really well on Amazon or on your website, go make a copy, bring it back here, and they have something similar to yours with a different logo. It's not very hard to do this nowadays. So are you putting an effort in differentiating your product with everything else out there? That requires some planning, some research, and some careful planning when it comes to figuring out, I'm selling the same product as competitor A, but what makes it unique? What makes my product unique? You got to put some time and effort into this. Product selection. I've spoken about this. When you want to increase the average order value or you want to increase the frequency of how many times people buy from you, you really have to think about adding additional products that may complement what you already have or could potentially upgrade the ones that you already have on your website. But you can't remain you can't keep on selling the same 6 products or 5 products and expect things to just go well for you. You really have to look at the product selection that you may have, and you may have to consider colors, different sizes, different product lines, different shapes, different models. You may have to find something that's better quality. Again, different brands out there that you may want to consider, or different. There's so much involved with regards to the selection that you simply can't stick with the same collection for the same amount of time and think that the business is going to grow. And finally, new products in general. So make it a habit of every couple of months, think about adding some new items to your website and announce these new products to customers so that they can come back to you and eventually purchase those things. But again, the whole idea here is I'm summarizing it as saying you need product. It's not one item. It's not a specific item. It's a little bit of everything that will make a difference in the overall growth that you're going to go through. And product selection, product price, product innovation, product differentiation, all of this stuff has an impact overall on your growth. Thing number 4, you need people. So when I was at Linen Chest, I was lucky because product was available. I inherited product. And when people tell me, what do you like selling online? I always tell them, you know what, I just sell any widget. You tell me what widget is available. As long as there's ways for you to differentiate yourself in the market, I get excited about it. I'll find a way to sell it. So when it was at Linen Chest, I was inheriting thousands and thousands of products. And there you go, try to find a way to increase sales on these items. But thing number 4 that I needed was people. I can't do it alone. I always relied on the right people surrounding me to help me execute on ideas. At the same time, I'm the type of person that will roll up my sleeve and I'll work with my team. But I have to surround myself with smarter people. I can't just rely on myself to do the whole job and come up with ideas. I like to be surrounded with people that are smarter than me to help me achieve the growth that we anticipate. So people to do what exactly? You need people to help you execute. So in the beginning, when you're starting the business, you may be bootstrapping it. You're doing it all alone. You're doing everything. That's normal. A lot of people go through this. But when you reach a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure, you're looking at a major team. And on my case right now, I've always worked with a team of at least 12 people. At iNet Video, I had 56 employees with me. I was leading all e-commerce efforts. And I'm talking about digital marketing, shipping, logistics, customer service, all that stuff. We're talking about 56 employees. We weren't able to reach $19.5 million a year by myself. I required a big team to help me achieve this. So you need this team to help you execute on your ideas, your strategies, everything that you're putting in place. Those people are going to help you execute that. You need people with expertise. At a certain point, you may be able to get away with the fact that I just need someone who understands a little bit of digital marketing, a little bit of SEO, a little bit of email marketing. I need someone who understands how to handle customer service. At a certain point, as you start growing the business, you'll realize that you need some experts on your team because the specialists are the ones that are going to take you to the next level. So with time, you'll start seeing that certain positions, you'll have to bring in additional help, but people with expertise and knowledge to help you make a dent in the results. So yes, you've been getting away with, let's say, simple SEO practices, but at a certain point, you need that SEO expert to come in, whether you hire them as a full-time employee, or it could be an agency that you would hire to help you do the job. You need people that are hungry to learn. So when I joined Linen Chest in 2016, I had to clean up a little bit the team. Some people left. I had to lay off some people, fire people, make some changes because there was a lot of anticipated growth, and I needed the right people behind me to help you execute and meet the expectations of the owners. So I love hiring people that are hungry to learn. When people are hungry, they're willing to really try to put a lot of effort in what it is that they're doing. I don't like convincing people that this is an amazing opportunity for them. If they're not in it, you know what? Thank you. Take care. Let me find someone out there that is really hungry for this experience, willing to learn. And especially when you think about e-commerce, it is one of the most exciting industries to be in right now. The last thing you want is someone who comes into work not even into it, and eventually they'll drag themselves, and you're always suffering when it comes to trying to motivate them to get the job done. Don't waste your time. Really, again, skills can be acquired. skills can be taught. You need to find people with personality, with character, with ambition, with drive. These are the things I was looking for when bringing them on to the team. And obviously, at the end of the day, when you bring in all these people, you got to make sure all these people, there's a specific fit with the rest of the team. Don't hire someone because that person is amazing, but eventually you see that their character might be in conflict with others on your team. That is not a good idea. So every time even I bring in additional people, I make sure that, first of all, they are fit for the job, but then are they going to fit with the rest of the team? I love hiring people that love what it is that we sell. It just makes it a lot easier. If you love cars and we sell car parts, it's just a lot easier. If you like home decor and we sell home decor products, it just makes it a lot easier when someone is actually interested in the product that they're selling. So I try to focus on that. So one thing I do is whenever I hire, I ask people, what's your passion? What is it that you do after hours? On the weekend, what is something you like? What do you think about our products? Have you bought from our brand? What do you think about our website experience? What are some of the brands you look up to? These are things that, if the way they answer to these questions will give me an idea of what is it that they like, and eventually will they actually enjoy this position. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want is spend about 8 hours selling a product or trying to sell a product that you're simply not interested in. I like people who find solutions. I don't want people who will find whatever reason for something that's not going to be possible. So when I go to people, when I go to my people, my team, I tell them I'm struggling with something. I don't want them to say, well, this can't be done, or we have a tight deadline, and they're going to find every possible reason why something can't be done. I want people that are going to simply take this and say, you know what, let's make this happen. If we want to make this happen, what is it that we need to do? So solution providers is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for people who just find me any reason why something just can't be done. So the people are critical when you go through growth, and really take the time to invest in the whole hiring process. I think it starts also with a good job description. Don't hire people without knowing exactly what is it that you want them to do. Have procedures in place. Lay out all the different tasks, because it's a pain afterwards to run after people and constantly communicate to them what are your expectations. Have everything in place before bringing in more bodies, because the last thing you want is start managing these people and you forget about your business. The whole reason why you're hiring is so that you have more time to focus on the rest of the business. So again, take the time when you start hiring. Don't rush things. And if you feel that you don't have enough work for someone to satisfy them for, let's say, a 40-hour work week or 5 days, then hire consultants, hire freelancers to test things out. So you're not committing yourself to a full-time employees and then eventually start costing the business a lot more. So just consider these things when it comes to that, because I can assure you that as soon as you go through growth, you'll end up having to hire a lot of people, and you want to make sure that you're ready for this, because HR issues will come up. Thing number 5, 2 more. You need technology. And in the beginning, a simple Shopify website at $35 could be more than enough. But guess what? With time, you may spend thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars just on your technology every month. So I've spent on email software more than $10,000 a month. Email software alone. I've spent on hosting more than $5,000 a month. I've spent on personalization tools $2,000-$3,000 a month. So as you start growing the business, understand that technology needs are going to change. You'll need more specialized software. You need software that's going to handle this growth. It's normal. What's important for you is to consider that these technologies will eat up some of your profits. So you really have to plan for this. Don't expect to see technology not go up in price or in cost over time. Anticipate those increases in costs, because at the end of the day, a lot of companies ignore them and eventually realize, oh, wow, we made $1 million, but it cost us an arm and a leg when it comes to our technology software, because a lot of tools out there, they charge you based on the amount of bandwidth you use or the amount of users using the software. So with e-commerce, a lot of times you may incur additional costs without you even being prepared for them, because December, November, the peak time of holidays rolls in, traffic goes up, the software company is going to charge you for additional traffic you may have received, additional orders that may have come in. Your credit card company is going to charge you a percentage of sales, and all these things add up. And eventually, you may not have anticipated all this, and it will impact your cash flow. So technology will grow, and you just need to be ready for this. So technology that is going, you need to meet expectations of whom? Technology is going to help you meet expectations of your customers while they're shopping on your website, expectations from your employees because they're going to be using the website, and also your partners. You need technology to help support the shopping experience, shopping cart, site search, reviews, ratings and reviews, payment, fraud detection, shipping tools, the whole 9 yards. All of these things will help improve the shopping experience. And that's where technology plays a role. Payment is another thing. You want to add PayPal, you want to add Amazon Pay, Google Pay, or Shop Pay. You want to add monthly payments options, installments. All of these things require technology. Logistics, shipping. You want to have a specific shipping carrier to help you. Like you may want to use FedEx, UPS, USPS, tracking, no tracking, insurance with signature. All of these things require technologies. Customer service. Your customers expect you to have live chat, answer emails, the toll-free number. All of these things require technologies. And the last thing where technology plays a huge role for you as an e-commerce business is the data management aspect. So at the end of the day, you can run the best e-commerce company, but the money is obviously in the brand, in the list, the email list that you have, but it's also in the data that you've gathered over a period of time. The more you know about your customers, the better it is, the easier it is for you to acquire new ones, and also to expand to additional markets that you may have not considered. But in order for you to manage all of this data, you got to invest in some sort of technology that's going to help you come up with information. Data is one thing, but technology is going to help you gather all this data for you and come up with some information that makes sense for you to act upon. So technology is required in order for you to manage all this data, because at the end of the day, the more data you have, the better decisions you will end up making when the time is needed. The last thing you need is time. And obviously, the one mistake I see a lot of people doing when it comes to growth is they rush things. Of course, you can increase sales immediately by spending $1 million on ads, and you're going to drive all this traffic, but you're risking it. You're not sure if this is going to work. So again, sometimes things just take time. And when it comes to e-commerce growth, when I grew the company from 7 to 8 million, from 7 to 8 figures, we're talking about time. It took me about 2.5 years to 3 years almost. It wasn't in 6 months. It took a while. So growth takes time. Don't rush it. Just do it right. And just make sure that you're following up on all the different strategies you're putting in place. Appreciate the journey. Sometimes I can tell you for a fact, you know what, right now you may be selling $100,000. And then eventually one day you aspire to sell $1 million a month. I can guarantee you, as soon as you hit the million, you'll be like, how can I sell $1.5 million? And it never stops. I can just assure you this from now. It will never stop. You sell $1 million, you want $1.5 million. $1.5 million, you want $2 million. And I remember this because when I started in e-commerce in 2001, we were selling about $1.2 million a year. And I was like, I can't wait to sell 2 million. We hit that. Within a couple of years, we went up to 7-8 million a year. We still kept going. And within 12 years, I brought it up to $19.5 million a year in selling movies, video games, and music CDs. We were selling it on our website, Amazon, eBay, and all the marketplaces. $20 million, and that's when we made the Internet 500 list, Inc. 5000. Guess what? The year after that, I still tried to do more. So it's never going to stop. But one thing that I really was important to me is the fact that I enjoyed this growth journey from day one until we hit 19.5 million. That journey is what made e-commerce so exciting. And that's one thing I want to tell people is to appreciate the journey, appreciate the learning experience, and embrace all of this change, this evolution in e-commerce, because I can tell you for a fact, as soon as you hit those numbers, what's next? Don't lose sight of your people as you grow the business. A lot of times you may want to, you know what, in the beginning, you will need support from your people. But after a certain time, you'll be able to afford more money. You'll have more money so you can afford more employees. But don't lose sight of the people that were able to take you to this level. Again, take care of those people. Don't lose sight of your customers. Some customers may be brand ambassadors during the first 3-4 years, and at a certain point you have so many customers that you're just all happy. But don't forget about those customers that helped you build the business, the ones that invested in your product over a period of time. Take care of those people. Don't forget them. Set goals and objectives. Time is important, but the only way to make sure that you make the most out of this time building and growing your business is for you to set goals and objectives so that you can actually meet your targets with regards to sale, revenue, and profits. And the last thing when it comes to time is make sure to measure everything. If you can't measure it, you simply can't improve it. And make it a habit of every time you're thinking about launching something, how are we going to measure success? How are we going to make sure that this campaign was successful? What are we going to be looking at? What variables, what KPIs, key performance indicators? How are we going to measure whether or not this campaign was successful compared to the other one there or versus the other one? So just be obsessed about measuring everything, as long as you don't go crazy, obviously. But it's important for you to measure everything, because at the end of the day, that's the best part about e-commerce. Because we can measure everything, it's a lot easier for us to adapt immediately to certain changes that may happen. If you see a campaign that's not working, lower the budget immediately. If you see a product that's not selling, then find a way not to order more. There's so many ways that you could do it, where if you compare it to retail in general, you have to order product, bring it in. You may run an ad on the radio. You may do some newspaper, back in the day, ads in the newspaper. It's too late to change certain things. You spend $10,000, $20,000 on a billboard. Well, guess what? That billboard is staying there. Nowadays, with Facebook, with Google Ads, with all the initiatives inside e-commerce, it's a lot easier for you to quickly make some changes and adapt to them so that at least you deliver on the expectations that you anticipated to have. So let's recap. What are the 6 things again? You need strategies. So 6 things to help you grow a successful e-commerce business. Strategies. You need money. You need product. You need people. You need technology. And you need time. Appreciate the whole journey. With that, as always, thanks again for attending this, viewing this video. If you're watching it from the recorded channel, whether it's on YouTube or inside the Academy, make sure to join the private Facebook group where I do these live, because right now I start going inside the group and I answer some of the questions that some of the group members may have. So let's see if there are any questions here. Oh, I see a bunch of them. Let's go in. So thanks again. For those who are joining, please don't forget to like or hug or love the video, whatever that is that currently Facebook is offering. So Jeff is asking, how much dollars in the first year? What do you mean by that? How much dollars in the first year? Any comments on best outsource resources, Fiverr, Upwork, freelancers, etc.? So when you outsource, I like to outsource to specific networks. I've used Fiverr before, so Fiverr is great. You could also use Upwork. Upwork is also great. Freeup.com is great. Again, very nice place. If you have a Shopify website, you can also go with something called StoreTasker. So I like networks that are specialized. So for example, StoreTasker is for Shopify help. I think hiring some specialists within their industries is a lot better. Fiverr, it's all over the place. Upwork is all over the place, but FreeUp is really focused around e-commerce more than anything. And the same goes for StoreTasker.com, which is focused on Shopify. I love working with freelancers. The only thing that I would see being a challenge is make sure to communicate really, really well what is it that you're looking for before hiring any freelancer. Look at also previous work. But again, it's a matter of testing. If you want to, for example, if you want to find freelancers to write for you, I like writersaccess.com. It's a great website to hire writers in the United States, North America, great quality. So there are so many sources. I always recommend it. Even if you think about, let's say, you want to do, let's say, graphic design work, 99 Designs is a great place to find some freelancers. So again, just do your homework, set expectations from the get-go, communicate everything you want done properly, and show them examples as well. You can't go wrong with that. Any thoughts on best bots providers? Bots for the website. Look, when it comes to bots, I know that, like, let's say ManyChat has the Facebook bot that could be installed on your website. That's one of them. If you want to look at, I believe, drip.com or drift, no, drip.com. I believe they have something in there that automatically engages with customers. I think there is Drift also. Drift.com is another website tool that can potentially help you automate things on the side. If you have, let's say, for example, Tidio.com is a live chat that has some functionalities that allow you to automate. Like we see right here, the chat is here. You can start talking. There's some bots sometimes in there. So there's so many tools in there. I just believe that when it comes to bots, you have to carefully use them because sometimes it may piss off your customers. And at a certain point, people want to speak to someone who's human. So don't think that the bots are going to replace your live chat, but potentially bots can be helpful during off hours. So let's say your customer service is open from 9 to 5, and then from 5 to midnight or throughout the night, instead of having no live chat, you may want to have a bot, but at least tell people this is a bot, because at a certain, tell them the store is closed right now, but to help you out, we have this bot to help you figure out what is it that you're looking for. You know, there's certain ways of going at it. I hope this answers the question. Jean-Yves, thanks, Al. You're welcome. Glad to again, I really appreciate when you guys attend this live. And obviously, the great part about doing a live is you get to ask questions. I mean, people book calls with me for these questions, but this is an opportunity to get this for free. Pascal, thanks a lot for a great live. Lots of valuable information. Great. Thank you again. Appreciate you attending it. Jeff is asking, minimum first-year investment required to cover the bases. It's hard for me to tell you this because I really need to know your business. If you're just getting started, I've started e-commerce businesses for $5,000. Are they selling $1 million? No, they're not. I think it really depends on the category of products you're selling. It depends on your level of skills in terms of how much do you know how to do yourself without having to hire people. It also depends on the category you're in. It depends on your competition in the marketplace. Again, there's so many things. I just want to say one thing, though, because I know there are a lot of groups out there in e-commerce, and I have nothing against anyone else teaching e-commerce or showing people how e-commerce works, because a lot of great people are out there teaching this stuff. I just believe that in order for you to make money in e-commerce, if you think you're going to be making a lot of money with less than $1,000 or even less than $10,000, it's hard. Let's just face it. So, you know what? You can get away with it the first year, but you're going to put in a lot of time. So understand that it requires an investment. In the beginning, to get started, you can bootstrap. So meaning you can easily find some, like, look, I have a build a store challenge. I show you how to build a store without having to hire someone to do it for you. There are people out there that are going to charge you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. So again, I'm saving you money in that sense. But does that mean that you don't need to spend money in your e-commerce business? No. Take that money that you would have spent to build the website, put that money on advertising instead. That's the way to do it. If you think you're going to hit millions of dollars selling drop shipping products, you may. Chances are you may not. It requires money to advertise on Facebook. And a lot of times right now, people get sucked into this e-commerce world, this success thing, especially now during this pandemic, everybody's jumping on it. Guess what? It's been there for a very long time. Chances are what everyone is pushing for nowadays is drop shipping and how to drive sales with Facebook. There is no secret. That's all it is. All the content out there, all the courses out there, that's what they teach you, is really how to find products through drop shipping or drop shipping in the US, locally in that, and then find ways of driving traffic. A lot of these courses and a lot of the content out there is helping you drive traffic from Facebook. That's all it is. There's no secret to it, but it requires money. So again, I can't tell you exactly how much. I would have to really sit down and calculate things and see where you're at to be able to give you a good number. Best live chat outsource. Again, it depends on the categories. If you want to outsource your live chat, you really need to find a good reasons why you want to do that, because I truly believe that the best people that know the product are your people, your company. When you outsource it, you have people that may not know about your product. And if you do want to outsource it, make sure you outsource it to someone who's very familiar with your product category. Remember, live chat, there's two parts to it. There is the support part. You may want to answer questions about where's my order, how can I return an item, things that are specific to the shopping experience, post-purchase support. And the other part that where live chat plays a huge role is the pre-purchase support. So the sales part. So people might ask questions about products. They might ask questions about your business, and they really want to find some answers before purchasing those items that you have available on the website. You can outsource post-purchase support. That's okay, because that follows a specific script. Orders are shipped in 2 days. Your order's in the mail. Don't worry about it. Blah, 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 this whole thing. This is how you return an item. But when it comes to pre-purchase support, I truly believe that it should be in-house. This way you learn from it. But over time, if you've been doing it for a year, 2 years, you know most probably all the types of questions that may come to you. So then outsource it somewhere else, but you're at least empowering them with knowledge. You're not just outsourcing it fully. At the same time, I truly believe that the front line of your business, who are they? Your customer service people. There are so many missed opportunities with regards to just taking the time to listen to your customer service people, or even just read the transcripts in the live chats. You can see so many different opportunities in there that, oh, wow, people are asking about this type of feature. Why is it that we didn't think about getting a product that will help them achieve this? Or people are complaining about shipping. And you know what? Let's evaluate our partnership with USPS. All of these things may be available to you inside these live chats, inside these email transcripts. That's why I like having them in control. And that's where the secret of the business is. And I don't want to give it out to someone else. So that's just my opinion. Jean-Yves is asking for strategies. Which one, first or must strategies, would you focus on? Put a lot of effort in your value proposition. I swear to God, if you guys put a lot of effort into this, it will help you. What do I mean by this? Everyone sells this phone, or this phone case, let's say. Before I go out there and think about selling a phone case, I ask myself, what is the value proposition of what it is that I have to offer? Meaning, who am I? What do I sell? And what differentiates my product from everyone out there in the market? If you spend time on figuring out how you're going to differentiate yourself, I guarantee you it's going to be a lot easier. Why? Because sometimes you may think that you have an edge over the competition, but when you start putting in the time and research and figuring out what is your value proposition, you may realize that, you know what, that's not an interesting market for you. There's too much noise already. And you may want to change that. So the strategy when it comes to how you differentiate yourself with your value proposition for the brand and the product. So for example, I did a video about how to sell phone cases. Pila Case, their strategy as a brand came in saying that we're going to go out there as the eco-friendly brand. That's a strategy at the brand level. Everything they do is going to be eco-friendly, sustainable, and so on and so forth. So that's the value proposition at the brand level. But then there's sometimes also a value proposition at the product level. The difference between this case and the other case is the following. Our cases are unique because of that. We've done our homework. We know what's out there. Our stuff is better. When you go with regards to the value proposition, you invest a lot of time into it, you'll start noticing things and you start making better decisions going forward. The best way to go about it is to go to Amazon, search similar products that you're thinking about selling, and then look again. I repeat this so many times because I want people to use this. I go inside the reviews and I read positive reviews, and I have a nice Excel sheet beside me and I take note. What's so good about the products that are currently selling on Amazon? And then I read all the negatives and I read the text that people left in the negative. What are they complaining about? And I take note of the language. I take note of the features, the things that they complain about, and I put that in the Excel file. So if I'm thinking about selling a product that already exists, you can go out there into the market by making an improved version of what currently is selling. So for example, I was looking for resistant bands, and there were so many different companies. Right now, I'm sure you've seen that, those resistant bands with the handles. If you go to Amazon, you're going to see a bunch of them. Do something for me. And I did my homework on that. I looked at the bestsellers and go on the bestsellers of all these brands and sort them by most recent. You'll be surprised to see how many people are complaining now about these products. Yet Amazon would show a lot of positive ratings. But start reading them most recent, you'll see in certain cases, everyone is complaining about them. Why? Because during this pandemic, the manufacturing process went way too fast. People are just want to ship it to the customers. The quality was impacted. So again, if you go out there, and by the way, I couldn't find a resistant band that I was really interested in buying because I was worried that they might break. And when I read the comments, I was like, oh, you know what? What happened? I didn't buy any of those because I couldn't trust any of them out there. But if there was one that at least was addressing all of those issues that everyone else was complaining, they could have got my money and I would have purchased it from them. But again, no one is taking the time. They're just going out there, let me sell a Me Too product. I have the same product, let me sell it. Spend some time on value proposition. Trust me, it will make a difference. So that's one strategy I would highly emphasize on. By the way, Facebook strategies, Instagram, your website, that's all easy nowadays. And just go to Facebook, learn everything, but with their Facebook blueprint training, trust me, it's the same thing. What you're going to be differentiating yourself on, that's advertising. Advertising strategies become very valuable when you have a big budget to play with. So when you start spending $100,000 a month or a day, you need really, really good strategies. And that's when it makes a difference. But in the beginning, all of that stuff is available, but yet not enough people are putting a lot of time in the research, value proposition, targeting, audience, buyer personas, the different stages, organic marketing. Everyone ignores that. Everyone jumps immediately into, let me build a Shopify website. Let me get a bunch of products from AliExpress, put them on the website, and let me do some Facebook ads. Guys, e-commerce is more than that. It's not just this. There's a lot more to it. So really evaluate it. I hope this answers your question, Jake. Jeff, there's a lot of noise and dissatisfaction with selling on Amazon. So I was selling $1 million a month on Amazon, movies and video games and music CDs. And I can tell you that Amazon, having an Amazon strategy is really, really helpful for your business. It shouldn't be the only strategy. Selling on your website, there's a lot of dissatisfaction. Selling on eBay, there's a lot of problems. Selling on Amazon, there's a lot of problems, and any other marketplace out there. What's important for you is to go out there with a strategy. Again, if you think that you're going to apply what you've learned about on your website and you just copy that same strategy and you apply it to Amazon, it's not going to work, and vice versa as well. So my thoughts on Amazon are the following. You're playing by their rules. Just know how the rules work. Don't mess them up, and try to deliver upon expectations, because at the end of the day, it's their playground. You have no choice but to abide by everything. Now, competition is going to be fierce on the marketplace. That's a fact in e-commerce in general. If you think you're going to be alone selling a product, good luck. But the idea is, again, it goes back to your value proposition. How are you going out in the market and how are you differentiating yourself will still apply on Amazon. If you do a really good job at it, the reviews will come in, product will sell. It simply takes time. But again, when you have the right strategies in helping you increase awareness on all these platforms, Amazon strategies are very easy, by the way. You want to raise awareness, spend some money on Amazon ads, drive traffic, invest in strategies that are outside of Amazon to drive traffic back to your listings. Start really offering the price of the product at a low price so you can incentivize people to purchase it. There's so many ways of going at it, but it takes time, just like everything else. I'm a big fan of selling on Amazon if done right. So I was just a note also, I was selling on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon UK, Amazon FR, Amazon Germany. I was in the beta program with Fulfillment by Amazon back in the day when they launched it. I remember Amazon called us and we went to Seattle. We were selling on Amazon since 2001 when they even had auctions. So very familiar with the marketplace. And I remember to this point when they introduced the whole Fulfillment by Amazon, I was like, wow, this is going to be very interesting. And when we sent out our first pallets, I was like, holy crap, this is going to be interesting going forward. And then eventually they launched the same thing in Amazon Canada. We launched over there. We helped them launch the beta of the marketplace there. So I'm a big fan of Amazon, but I've been suspended on Amazon as well. So in 2012, I was suspended. Again, a lot of reasons why this happened. I got the account back after 9 months, but I had to lay off 80% of our staff. But still, we were able to get back on it and we grew from there again. So you just got to know how to play the game with them. And just, this is their rules and you got to follow them. They seem to be changing the rules without informing their vendors. Consequently, some of the vendors get dumped from their system without explanation. There's a lot of reasons why. So you have to understand also on Amazon, there's the Amazon first party, third party vendors. So, Amazon is also the retailer. So you got to be very careful how you do this. You don't want to sell all of your products on Amazon because they're going to use this data against you in the future. But at the same time, you can't not think about selling these products because the volume is insane, especially, let's say, FBA and so on and so forth. So I would tell you, it really depends. They don't change the rules just like that. And there's always a reason. But yes, I've seen that happen. Sometimes they will suspend you for whatever reason because they're getting a lot of complaints. I've been a victim of that. But overall, it's a phenomenal opportunity. I think you should just focus more on the positive side. But at the same time, always diversify your channels. Do not rely on one channel, especially the fact that do not rely on a channel where you're building a business on a rented lot. Amazon's platform does not belong to you. It's their customers, their platform, everything belongs to them. So you really want to make sure that as you're building your business on Amazon, to always think about building it on your website, building it on other marketplaces, so that, God forbid, if anything happens, if things will happen, if they suspend you, shut you down, you still have more income coming in from other channels. But the same goes for Facebook ads and Google ads. I've been suspended on Facebook. I've been suspended on Google for many reasons, and we get them back because, you know what, we have a legit reason. But again, it could happen to you, and that could be detrimental to the operation. So just make sure to plan for these things. I hope that answers again, Jeff. Felicitas is asking, Ala, the products I'm looking to sell, I can possibly source or I can find them from AliExpress or Etsy. Still, they have to come from China. Yeah, right now it's a very unique situation. The products, if they're coming in from Asia, and again, there's a lot of change happening in e-commerce right now when it comes to supply chain, manufacturing, product sourcing, pricing, manufacturers in general. Everything is being impacted. Unfortunately, just like everything else, you have to adapt quickly. So find yourself some other sources in the US, in other countries, locally. So now, though the companies that are able to adapt quickly to these changes are the ones that are going to survive, because you're not alone going through this challenge. So find ways of differentiating yourself, even with finding products that are made locally. And maybe that could be an opportunity. Or find products that are made in other countries. You may pay a little bit more, but guess what? At least you have access to product. It's going to be shipped on time. And people now are aware. They might be sensitive to the fact that it's made in certain countries. You may want to stay ahead of the competition by telling them, by the way, our product is made in USA, and maybe you will be able to charge a premium price for this because it's made locally, or it's made in Spain, or any other country. So again, that becomes more of your value proposition, your branding strategy, and the overall product strategy in general. So it's tough, I know, and that's why I always say, don't rely on one product, don't rely on one supplier, don't rely on one channel, don't rely on just one website. Diversify all of your efforts, because we're all in it the same way. That you risk a lot by just focusing on one area. I hope this helps. Jeff, thanks. Appreciate it. Any other questions? And if you have ideas on the next topic that you would like me to cover, don't hesitate, put it in the comments. Let me also share this presentation with you guys, so at least you have it immediately inside. But let me know if there are any other questions that you guys have that you would like to be answered before we end the session. Do you have any experience with OLX? What is that? I've never heard about that. Jeff, what do you mean by OLX? Well, first of all, I guess I don't have experience because I have no idea what OLX is. Basim is saying, thank you, Ala. I like today's tutorial, very educational. You're welcome. Felicitas, thank you. Glad it helped. Excellent. Thanks again for the support and for attending. Let me know, Jeff, what do you mean by OLX? I want to make sure I answer it before I end the session. For those who are still in the session right now, I will be reducing the amount of videos that I'll be doing live. I used to do them almost every day, every second day. It's going to be cut down a little bit only because I am working currently on my premium program. I have some test students going through it right now, and I really have to dedicate myself to that. It's almost like coaching, and I want to make sure I deliver on that because I'm planning on launching my premium program towards towards the 3rd week or 4th week of June. So I want to make sure I'm ready because I've been promising it for a while, and I have many people messaging me about it. And so again, it's just going to be reduced a little bit. Jeff is saying OLX is like AliExpress serving. Unfortunately, I don't. So I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I'm not a very experienced product guy. I always inherit products. I've always been hired by companies to lead their e-commerce efforts. I'm an employee. I've always focused on my career. I'm not an entrepreneur. I never launched my own business when it comes to e-commerce. I've always been hired by established brands to help them grow theirs. That's my expertise. So a lot of times I inherit products from the buying team, from the people that are in charge of it. The brands have their own products, and I simply have to find ways of selling them. So that's why I don't have a lot of experience. I can find ways or ideas on how to find product, but unfortunately, I've never bought a lot of products from all these websites, except AliExpress. Go on their website. It's a whole different world, but very big. I'm sure it is. But like I said, I'm not into the product world. You guys do that. Come to me. I'll find ways of helping you grow. So that's my expertise. Excellent. Look, I don't see any more questions. I hope, again, this was useful. Thanks again for attending this live session, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice evening. Take care. Bye-bye.